This whole place that I'm in right now, I'll do a little 360. This is my yard for my business, Rico Brooklyn. We take urban trees and from New York City, and we mill them into lumber. Live edge slabs, dimensional lumber. I mean, we've had a crazy winter. We just milled behind me probably somewhere in the realm of about 110,000 board feet this winter to add to what we already had. We got a lot right now. Right behind me is a shipping container we use for our kiln. To kiln dry the wood. All that stuff, whoop, right there is air drying for about 2 years before we put it in our kiln. You know, I get a lot of comments, people saying, oh, you should have done a shipping container, you should have done a shipping container. And believe me, I know what's up with a shipping container, and you're right, because shipping containers are freaking awesome. This happens to be an ex-reefer. It was a refrigerated container. It's got rigid foam, 2 inches of rigid foam insulation in the all in the walls of it. The deal is, in the back here, there's a diesel motor. At least I believe it's a diesel motor. I've been told it is. And this is for the refrigeration. This is there's a compressor or condenser, whatever it is, and that's what keeps the thing cool. So we bought it because we made a kiln out of it, and because of the insulation. The insulation is crucial for keeping the heat inside. So, you know, people are asking me, why didn't you just bury a couple shipping containers, like for storage? I talked about how I was maxed out on my tent storage space, and you know, it makes a lot of sense to use a container. If you just put it on your property, when you're dealing with raw land, mostly just a place to put your stuff to get it out of the elements, and then you can eventually reuse it for part of your house. Or, I mean, gosh, there's so many things. The fact that they're structural and they're load bearing, the fact that you can bury them in the ground is huge. The fact that, you know, Ted would always talk about the dismantleability of buildings and being able to reuse materials and recycle. I mean, shipping containers are great for that. I mean, they're out of commission, they're no longer being used for what they were intended for, and they're made out of steel. And steel can be dismantled, reused, melted down, formed into new things. It is an amazing material, and it's limited, but there is a lot of it available. And it's a limited resource. We only have a finite amount on the planet, but there's a lot of it available. It's relatively inexpensive, especially in the context of using a shipping container as a structure. It's extremely inexpensive. And I don't know what else to say about it other than, yes, absolutely, I could have used a shipping container. And I think a couple of the reasons why we didn't is because we don't have like a ton of space on this property. Everything we have here, we have because we cleared it. And I wanted to minimize clearing trees. And we also just didn't want a shipping container, just a raw, rugged shipping container like you see here, like as part of like our home. I mean, I'm down, like just sitting here, like in our front yard. We just didn't want to have that sitting in our front yard. We already have one sitting basically in our backyard back here. They're not the prettiest things to look at, and I guess we just like had other plans. I don't really have a good reason why we didn't use a shipping container. The other part is I honestly didn't even think about it for like our living area. You know what I think? I think, guys, I think there's sometimes that happens where you make mistakes, right? Where you genuinely say, oh my God, I should have done that. Or I didn't even think of that. But I don't know that I can say that that's the case for why we didn't use a shipping container already. I think for us, for me, I'm very well aware of shipping containers and building with them. But it just never crossed my mind. And I think we made the right decisions. I think our tent was the better decision at the moment. Yes, I don't have enough space, but logistically, with Justine and I doing this ourselves, like last winter, trying to get that tent in, like before we had to go to Christmas up in New Hampshire, we had like 2 days. We were moving out of our apartment. Like the whole thing, it just would have worked with a shipping container, and that is why it just never even crossed my mind, because, you know, I would like to think that I would come up with the best options for the scenario at hand, and I think that I did that. I do want to build a shipping container house on another part of the property one day further up. I've had that dream for years since we bought this place. It's a really great place. It's just perfect. It's like I saw this setting for the house, and I was like, this would be great for a shipping container house. So I think it just, there are certain things where it makes sense and other times where it doesn't. There is another little spot on the property where one could go, at least for storage right now. A little small clearing we just made recently for the business. So maybe, I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's get on with this fishing stuff.